All right, here we go again. Nobody's gonna like this one. It will offend some. It's gonna offend everybody. Yeah. Relationship postmortem parts 5, 6, one of those. Again, depending on how you count. If you actually, so this is the 6th video in a series on relationship. All right. Let's talk about shame for a minute. So, other person's fault. Blaming is complaining, right? Or complaining is blaming. Well, both. And what we're often overlooking is if people beat themselves up. I don't really engage in shame. Actually, I don't at all. I'm mincing words there. I don't engage in shame at all. I consider it not useful, and it's just never true. And it's a function of a lack of self-acceptance, but it's also a lack of accepting that you are a divinity. So if we talk about personal and practical in terms of self-esteem, practical is about results and about noticing where you need to be more effective. This is where you always want to get feedback. This is where you want to look for greater efficacy in every context of your life. The other aspect of self-esteem is, of course, feeling you're worthy of receiving, you're worthy of good things. This is the side that if you don't feel you are worthy, which can show up as you're a child of God, or you're a hologram of the universe, or you're a manifestation of the divine, whatever it is for you, or you're a god or goddess, whatever it is for you is fine. But the lack of accepting that is what's causing you to beat yourself up. Because what happens when we feel guilty, by the way, is actually an adrenaline rush, not this heavy oppressive feeling of shame. When we feel guilty, it's an indication that we violated our own value system and that we must fix it. Shame is a detour where we beat ourselves up and feel that we're unworthy, or we're a bad person, or we are therefore unlovable as a result, or we, what's the other flavor? That we're just therefore a bad person, and that's, first of all, never accurate. It's a confusion of logical levels. It's confusing identity with behavior. It's not who you are. That one instance, whatever that one instance is. So first of all, I like to encourage people. I inform them that their shame holds no currency with me, because there's a lot of social currency in shaming yourself and in victimhood, which is when you're blaming the other, but you've got the same oh, woe is me sort of attitude. Awesome, not a problem. You can indulge that as long as you like. It is an indulgence. It keeps you from the learning and from taking the actions necessary to solve the problem, which is what the challenge is in the first place. Now, some people also go into, well, I'm unworthy of love. I'm not good enough, or this good enough thing. First of all, if your friends are saying something like, well, he's not good enough for you, or she's not good enough for you anyway, you could do better. They are, first of all, in helping you engage in being a victim with pseudo-empowerment. It's not true empowerment, really, because all you're doing is you're vilifying the other person, which we talked about in video 1. So it's weak tea at best. Thin gruel, if you prefer a Oliver Twist metaphor. And you go, please, sir, may I have some more gruel? Because you want to keep eating that thing that's keeping you small. Now, the responsible thing to do is to do a courageous inventory on where you can do better in the future, but also what qualities you loved about them, but also what qualities you want in addition in the future. Now, we're going to get into grief in the next segment, but I can't even remember what the topic was about. I started off on a whole thing. Hilarious. Anyway, next up, what's next is always better, because you're going to be better. And how to resolve grief more rapidly using the magic of NLP, but also the way you relate to frames. Frames meaning how you perceive and how you view the breakup. the way to take your power back is to let yourself feel the pain. Stop using these balms, these anesthetics. And if you don't like opiates, this is an opiate of the mind. The thing that you're doing that vilifies the other person, it's an opiate of the mind. It's just thoughts that ameliorate your feelings, your negative feelings that you don't want to feel. Some people overeat, some people vilify the other person, some people take opiates, but it's all the same drug. It's because you want to change how you're feeling, and you're not doing it in a way that empowers you. You're doing it in a way that disempowers the other. So, can I offer something? Yeah? Thank you. Don't do that.